You're listening to Dave Nemo Weekends with Dave Nemo, Jimmy Mack, and Lindsay Lawler, live from MASS, the Mid-America Trucking Show in Louisville, Kentucky.
What's up, y'all? It's Colt Ford here, and you're listening to the Weekend 34 with Jimmy Mack and Lindsay Lawler. Y'all keep it country out there.
I'm so excited about our next guest, Lindsay. Guys, welcome back to Matt's. What a show. I will just simply say that. What a show.
I'm still tired, but it was totally worth it.
I am the resurrection and the everything is right with the world, man. Welcome back to Dave Nemo Weekend, your Weekend 34. Lindsay Lawler, Jimmy Mack. Dave is on the move, just like Aslan and Elvis. We got a heck of a guest, don't we?
We do. This is very exciting. I know our whole staff's exciting, especially here at Matt's. We've got a comeback show. This is literally from the dead, raised from the dead. Lazarus is joining us.
Come forth.
Come forth, Lazarus. This guy is legendary both in Nashville and country music and really all music alike, quite frankly. A lot of people want to work with him. He's done some of the most interesting collabs that there are in country music and music alike. He's really, he broke the mold in country. He started his own genre. He's genre-less, which you know I love to talk about.
The only person not excited is Tara's husband.
I heard it.
Yes, he's very excited to be here as well. Ladies and gentlemen, who I'm talking about is this guy right here.
Working on coming to Jesus, kicking about wrestling with our roots, trying to turn off mama's tears and fill our daddy's boots, shutting up our pride, fixing bridges we burn, learning how to live and learn, keeping our demons down and our trucks up and running, loving them angels sitting pretty in the middle of them, fighting with the man in the mirror till we gone. Yeah, that's what all us good old boys gonna go out working on.
Obviously, who I'm talking about, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the show, Colt Ford.
Hey, how are you? I'm glad to be here. I'm lucky to be here.
You're about to say, I'm glad to be here. I'm lucky to be here. Really, really lands right now, doesn't it?
It really does. It really does. It's been April 4th, since last year, life-changing events for me ever since. It's been unbelievable.
We're about the year anniversary of the year that changed your life, the day that changed your life.
Yeah.
So much to talk about, and I want to say thanks for making the time and staying over. You performed last night to a sold-out show, a packed crowd, your first show back. You killed it, and you killed it, and you didn't have to kill yourself.
I didn't die. Yeah, so I told somebody, I was like, I literally killed myself for this music. Y'all don't understand. I love y'all so much. It's crazy.
Well, let's just dive in and go right
right.
there, because you had a near-death experience, multiple, really.
Yeah, April 4th last year, playing a show, Phoenix, Arizona. Walked off stage, got on my bus, and fell over dead. I had 2 massive heart attacks back to back, and they got me from one hospital. They operated on me there for, I think, 8 or 9 hours, and they couldn't do any more. They were like, they don't know what else to do. My crew and band and everybody, it was just chaos. And my best friend, Brantley Gilbert, another artist that I'm sure all your listeners are familiar with, Brantley was out there as well, and he got over there. And people don't understand. I'm like, Brantley's the sweetest guy in the whole world until he's not. I'm like, he's kind of like a real live Sons of Anarchy character, but he's a sweet guy. But when you start talking about family, and Brantley and I are family, and he was like, listen, he told that doctor, he's like, the only thing that help him is ECMO. And they're like, well, that's over at the other hospital. He's like, well, if you don't get him over there, you're going to go back in this ER as a patient and not. He's like, he was getting so frustrated they wouldn't tell him anything, and he'd already told his bodyguard and his wife Amber. She's like, he already called and said he might go to jail if they don't tell him something. But I gave him the approval. I'm like, it's incredible to feel that kind of love. But they got me over to the Mayo Clinic, and they. They kept me alive at the first place, so I ain't all mad. They did all they could do, and everybody was trying, and they got me over to the Mayo Clinic, and that place they're unbelievable, and they got me on ECMO, and they just brought me out of the coma about 8 days later, and here I sit.
Here you sit, just a quick year later.
Yeah.
This is a long-term question because it's probably in bits and pieces. When did you feel like, because when you come out of an 8-day coma and you have to put everything back together, when did you begin to feel like you? When did you feel like up here and in your shoulders and in your heart, did you feel like you?
It was It was a while because I've never had loss of time, and I'd lost like 10, 11 days. I didn't remember riding out there. I don't remember any of it. And I really I remember I remember right after Easter driving to Nashville to get ready to go, and that's the last thing I remember. And then I woke up and I'm like, I wasn't hurting because they had me on so many drugs. And I knew something was going on. I woke up and I'm like, I look and I see my wife, and then I look and I see my son. I'm like, well, I know he ain't supposed to be wherever I'm at. He wouldn't have been there and they started telling me what happened. And then it's just been a constant process of piecing the information back. And, they asked me, it took a while to process. They said, that whole, do you see the light kind of thing?
Yeah.
And so I remembered three things when I woke up. I remember my wife telling me, "Trust me, you're going to be okay." And she's a nurse, and I meant like my best friend. I meant like I'm Linus, she is my blanket. I meant like, and I remember I asked my son, I was like, "Did you say?" But my song "Working on You" just playing. Marcus Luttrell is a great friend of mine, a Navy SEAL that survived in that movie. And one of the things Navy SEALs say is, don't put your gun down, you're not out of the fight. You're never out of the fight, don't put your gun down. And I asked my son, I was like, "Did you say that?" He's like, "Yeah, I was whispering that in your ear. Don't put your gun down, Dad, you're not out of the fight." And as we know, about a month before my heart attack, I buried one of my best friends, Mr. Toby Keith, and was there at his funeral, and it was for his family, and it was awful because he was just such a legend. And he used to call me Little Dog Daddy. And I was like, I don't mind. I'll be Little Dog Daddy to him because he was just like larger than life. We were friends. Like we went on vacation. We did stuff together. But I'd look at him sometimes and be like, holy shit, it's Toby Keith. I mean, he was just larger than life. And just like that, the light, and Toby stepped out from behind it and said, "They ain't ready for you, little dog, going back down there." And I woke up.
Shut up.
And I woke up. And so it's been a lot. It's hard to explain, and I'd never been scared of nothing but my God and my mama, and now everything makes me nervous. And to get your body's one thing. I mean, I've learned that you can deal with stuff and you play through injuries. I grew up sports and all that stuff, but like mentally is a different thing, and I was definitely not prepared for that. I've always been complete alpha male,
Well, your music doesn't seem like that.
No, it's very soft and subtle. Yeah.
I thought they called you the romantic ballad.
Yeah, they won't let me do ballads. I want to. They don't. They just won't let me do them sometimes. I don't know.
Here's the thing. He was a pro golfer, by the way, too.
Good one.
Not a lot of bad pro golfers, but
I can think of a couple I don't like.
Fair.
It's a different reason. But
I've been obsessed with near-death experiences for a long time, and what I realized, though, especially in situations like you, I'm obsessed with them just because I'm constantly I want to go deep. I want to talk about what happens after this and the connection that we all have. However, I realized I was really hit with it one time talking to somebody who actually went through one, and you were the same. It's like I got so wrapped up in what it's like on the other side and what it's like. I'm like, oh, I want to have a near-death experience. Don't say that. I don't really.
No, you don't.
Take that off the table. But after going through some traumatic things of my own in my life, that was kind of what I saw as my own reset to be like, okay, that was we got to get it together and be here. And so, I feel like people like you, correct me if I'm wrong, it's like you want to shout to people like, you don't have to die to live. And you got to, get it together before then. What is the difference, Colt Ford, here a year later, that the biggest way you're doing life differently now? Outside of health.
Yeah, I mean, obviously people look at, I mean, I did a couple of shows with Brantley Gilbert. He brought me on stage for a few minutes, that was my first time back the last couple of weeks to get back on stage, and I was a nervous wreck.
Yeah.
I'm like, and I just can't say enough things about him because, I mean, it's his show. I mean, he brought me out and let me do 15 minutes in the middle of his show using his band, and he just we were doing it together, but he let me feel it again, and it was unbelievable to feel that again. So I'm telling everybody, but check your health. Like Brantley, he's like, man, he goes, I know if you'd ever told me that you'd weigh less than I do and wear a smaller shirt than I do, I'd have said you're crazy. And I said, I would have said that too, but that's the case now. I said, luckily I don't have to go shopping. I can just go over to his closet and steal T-shirts and stuff. So I've changed all my eating habits, obviously all that. I broke a lot of cravings. I knew this is when I knew I'd broken the craving. My wife is the greatest woman in the world. She is unbelievable, but she doesn't like Waffle House, and that's one only chink in her armor. It really is
Deal breaker.
It's not a deal.
Almost a deal breaker.
Oh,
right?
but not quite. But I mean, she's just
Outside of that, she's perfect.
yes.
However.
And she said on my birthday, I really have never been a birthday guy. Like I meant, you have a birthday, but like I just didn't. Some people make a big deal. I'm like, whatever. Let's go to work. Go another day. And this birthday, I was pretty psyched to have. And I woke up. She goes, "All right, you want to go to Waffle House?" And I went, "Nah." She's like, "For real?" Because she's like, once a year, you can have it. And I'm like, "Nah, I've already beat the craving." So it's like, if I've already beat it, I don't want to go back to it. So I haven't drank a soda since then.
Boy, that's a
amazing.
liberating experience. I'll tell you that. We were talking about that earlier. I lost about 70 pounds.
Yeah.
And one of the ways I started doing it was not drinking soda.
Unbelievable.
It's a game changer.
No, it's crazy. I drink water and unsweet tea now, which is, again, for a boy from the South to not eat fried stuff and drink sweet tea is damn near blasphemy. I mean,
sweet tea's hard, man. When somebody
Yeah.
pours scalding hot
Yeah.
tea into a whole bunch of honey and lemon, it's like I start running for the doors. But I want to ask you this, though. We talk about a lot of stuff that you broke the cravings for. I'm just really curious, a year now, what have you discovered that you really love? I mean, and I know you love your wife. I know you love your family and your friends. But what things about life have you just said, man, I'm going to dig this in a way I've never dug it before because I really appreciate what it is?
I've always been a very, I'm generally a super positive person. I mean, my music is fun and happy. I don't like being sad, but I really want to make a difference in especially younger people and everything. Because I was famous, just like Jelly's doing good right now, losing that weight. And I told him, I was like, bro, you have got to.
Period.
You've got to. You're going to die. My doctor looked at me. I mean, I'd been up to 350. And my doctor's like, you don't have to do nothing different if you don't care nothing about living. I mean, like, what do you want to do? And so I had been losing weight. So I was in better shape. I was down to like 250, and everybody's looking, going, "Oh, you're great." And then this happens. So a lot of my buddies, even guys in good shape, been like, "I went to the doctor. I've gone to the doctor.
Yeah.
I'm checked." I was like, "Do it. Check. If you feel something, check." I mean, and even more, wanting to help more of the young people and people realize, like, you don't have to be this way. You don't have to. Yeah, a lot of stuff. You don't have to eat certain things. I was never the proponent for that. I was hamburger helper all damn day. I mean, I'd wake up and eat hamburger helper. I meant, like, so getting healthier. I mean, that doesn't guarantee you anything, but it sure increases the odds.
Well, and it's crazy the joy that we think. By the way, thankfully, thank God, there's so many divine intervention things that happen here. There's
unexpected grace in every direction.
Absolutely.
Yeah, beyond a shadow of a doubt that you're meant to still be here and figure out what the next phase of Colt Ford is. But so thankfully you had been on the path to getting better, or else this could have ended very differently.
Oh, absolutely.
Right?
I mean, I didn't even the thing that's been the hardest for me to deal with, I think, outside of my own head is just how it affected everybody else, and I knew nothing. And then after months and months, I was like, God, that must have been really, really hard.
Yeah.
I mean, like my wife's sitting at home in Tulsa on the back porch with her dog, watching something, drinking a White Claw at 11 o'clock at night, and my bus driver or Eli, somebody calls and tells her what's going on, and you can only tell her, like, everything is like, holy shit. I mean, everything changed now.
And that's the other thing too, man. It's like that. It's when you start carrying around the responsibility for the people that you love and the people that you take care of, and you start imagining what it would be like for them to be told he's gone.
Right, and it was just unreal. She's obviously freaking out, trying to. My stepdaughter Ella's trying to help her pack, and they get a flight at 6. So she's been awake 24 hours. She lands out there at 6:30. While she's taking off, she sees the phone call come from Arizona, but we're taking off, so she doesn't. The voicemail says, "Hey, I'm Dr. Whatever. I hope you're going to be here in the next 15, 20 minutes." I mean, and she's taking off from Tulsa to Phoenix, so obviously that's not going to. My son, who's 25 years old, gets the same call. So Brantley was able to get my son, him and his roommate, got my son and his wife a ticket out there. But it was. My dad will be 90 this year, and my mom's 80, so they can't travel. And it was just when Megan landed, Eli picked her up at the airport, and she was just kind of numb. She said for like 10 minutes I didn't say anything, and then I looked at him and said, "Is he alive?" I meant like she didn't know.
Yes,
and they weren't sure how long I'd been out when they found me. I mean, there was just a lot of up in the air questions, and Megan's like, well, "How long is that?" Eli was like, "No more than 10 minutes." She's like, 10 minutes? Because she's a nurse. She's like, 10 minutes? There is no Colt. There's nothing. A body's there. And so they just didn't know, you know. I mean, they were like, "We'll have to check cognitively when you wake up." I'm like, hell, I don't know if y'all can tell the difference, to be honest with you. I mean, I'm pretty crazy already. I don't know if you can know that there is a difference, but it was certainly something. Make you sit back and appreciate things differently, look at things differently, relationships and things that I thought were really important, and certain famous things that seemed kind of cool. I'm like, yeah, I could care less now. I couldn't mean that anymore. Like, I really could care less now.
By the way, before I let Lindsay ask you the next question, just to remind people who are listening, it's the Weekend 34, Dave Nemo Weekends. We're talking to Stuntman of the Soul, Colt Ford.
I like that. That's a great album name.
And
Stuntman of the Soul.
It is yours. Take it, by the way. But this is really, a lot of this stuff really belongs to Lindsay. We talk about this all the time. The other thing about the stuff that you love, has there just been a great day where over the course of this year where you just kind of had a day to take in a moment and be like, right now, this is where I need to be?
I've had a few of those. The hardest thing of all is to make myself, show myself some grace and give.
That's why I was asking.
I didn't know how to do that. I've been, like I said, I was alpha. I mean, my wife needs something, my kids need something, my friend, what you need, I can go get it. I know how to go get it. I can dig a ditch. I can do a lot of things. I know how to drive a truck. I can do a lot of things. I can make money. And so, I went to bed. Well, I mean, I went that day being able to do anything I wanted to do. I could play 36 holes of golf and play the show that night. And I woke up 8 days later, and I could not pick up a styrofoam cup and feed myself ice. So they say for 1 day in the bed's 4 days muscle loss. So literally, like I couldn't defend myself against a 7-year-old. Like, I had no balance. So learning to walk again, all that stuff. It's been something. But the fans, the support, it's been, the friends have been unbelievable. Just like your listeners, I get messages, and I've always had a huge connection in the trucking industry.
They love you.
I've always been a fan. They've always been, and I was one of the few people that the McCall family let recut Convoy.
Yeah.
So I did Convoy, and Moby in the Morning, a famous Atlanta DJ, did the trucker voice on there, which he did the rubber duck on there. It was a lot of fun.
Well, man, that's a badge of honor, getting the family stamp of approval.
Oh yeah, because they just don't. No. I didn't know that. I was just like, I just want to do it because I was such a fan, and they were like, I don't know if they're going to, and I was like, why wouldn't they let me do it? And they're like, they're really serious. Like, they don't, no goofing around. I was like, well, I ain't going to goof around. I mean, to me, there's certain things you go, I do it. That's perfect the way they did it. I'm not going to change it. And it turned out good. They're like, oh, we love it. We love it. So that was.
Do you like the movie?
Oh, classic. It's classic.
That first
man.
Barroom fight is just ridiculous.
It's just
slow motion.
We were talking about that because we're of the same age. So it's a lot of that stuff that we loved growing up. The Burt Reynolds and Chris Christopherson.
Oh my God! And Ernest Borgnine, by the way, who at the end of the movie gets the gag, stops caring. I don't care. Go ahead, live, go be well,
great.
Go to Mexico.
It's
get
great.
Out of here.
So I'm a constant supporter of the trucking industry. I tell people all the time. You hear people bitching. I'm like, Let those guys, men and women, decide they're not going to do this, and you tell me what happens to this country. It's going to come to a screeching halt.
We were saying
you need to understand that.
We were saying today, how's that bearded Bushwick treating you without all that oil, partner?
I meant like it's just a real thing. I get so frustrated when I hear that and my wife, her dad was a trucker, so. I got a lot of trucking friends in the industry, and it's just great to be a part of, and it was great to be able to play a show, my first one back, and be comfortable and realize that I survived, and now I'm going to play some more.
You still got it. So let's talk music. We've got a couple minutes left, but you did the show last night, and that was a big hurdle for you. I know you were nervous leading up to that because, even if it's something that we're an expert at, you were a professional, still are a professional, obviously an expert, but it doesn't, when we get knocked off our footing.
It didn't feel like that.
When we get knocked off our footing, we got to build back out, and luckily you have great friends both in the industry and outside and family, and that's what it comes down to. But let's talk music, because you're over that hurdle from last night.
Yeah.
You're back in it. We're
Yeah.
back in, baby. And from a songwriting perspective, from a performer perspective, how do you see that this is going? Luckily, your fans, you're hearing it here first. He's not going anywhere. He's going to make music till the day he dies for the final time,
Right.
which is going to be a long, long, long time from now.
I hope so.
But how does songwriting and performance feel like it's going to be different for you? What you're going to say? Is there going to? I mean, you're living a different life now.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much stuff that had become ingrained in your show and certain things you do, and it's like I do have some cognitive things where I can't remember stuff and short-term, memory things. So I was super nervous about that, and trying to remember lyrics and all. And I've always played. I'm pretty rambunctious on stage. I mean, I run around. I like to run around and dance, and so I have to be careful there. I can't do that like I used to, because I had a lot of damage to my leg from the surgeries and the fasciotomy. So I have to be careful with that balance. So that's hard for me, because people are like, sit on a stool. I'm like, no, no, I just cannot do that. I can't do that. So that's been different. And the songwriting, yes, I've always written a lot of really happy, positive. And not that I'm not, but I've got a lot of material. I'm trying to work on this book.
Good.
I think that's interesting. I got a lot of new music, a song called Hell Out of It that I had finished before the accident with Michael Ray, and it just took on a whole different meaning.
That's a wild moment, isn't that?
Yeah.
When you actually create something that you're proud of and then move
It
through
really,
a period, a filter of darkness.
The first time
on the
I
other
hear
side.
it after that, I'm like, oh man, basically it's just I'm grateful, and I'm down here living the hell out of this life I got. And so, it's like, wow, that hit hard. The song changed. So I got a lot of music coming. The book, I want to write a book called War. I thought about this while I was on so much drugs in the hospital, and I was having crazy hallucinations. It was wild. It was wild because I hadn't had any sleep, and it was a.
And the sleep is different too. It's uncomfortable sleep. It's unpleasant sleep.
When people are like, did you get good night's rest? You're shitting me, right? I mean, there's something beeping every 5 minutes, and somebody in this room every
Somebody
15,
screaming.
which I'm grateful for. That Mayo Clinic. People are like, oh, they treat you good because you're famous. No, sir.
No.
That's the way they do business. I'm in the ICU. It's one nurse, one patient. They took care of me, and they encouraged me, and it's just been a blessing. So the book I want to write is called War, and somebody's like, you want to write? Well, I was like, it's called. It stands for We're All Responsible, meaning we're all responsible for each other as human beings. I don't care what side of the fence you're on politically. Don't even ask me about mine. You've seen my music. You should know where I stand. America. I'm pro-America. I'm pro our military and all that, and we should support them. But it's like we got to realize that we're all responsible. You can shuck it off, but maybe you can take a time with somebody to find some common ground and share something that makes a difference with their life. So I got a lot of that going on in my head.
And you know that, too, that there are a lot of Americans who are on all sides of the spectrum when it comes to patriotism, and the military actually fall on the same side.
Absolutely.
And I call it the grandkid picture. If you show somebody a picture of your grandkid, they tend to forget all of the problems. And a lot of people, when it comes to military.
That's where I'm at with it. I don't care about the other stuff. Yeah. I'm not a politician. But
you can say now to it when someone's complaining about it, like, yeah, well, did you die?
Yeah, exactly.
I
did twice.
So
suck it. Yeah. Suck it. Yeah.
Suck it.
That's what I'm going to say.
Suck it, buy my book.
I will give you the credit for it. Maybe I should record you saying that, and then I'll just go, she says, suck it.
Suck it, buy my book.
Wouldn't that be great, by the way? I died twice, suck it. That's another book title and possibility.
That's the music.
It's at least a T-shirt for sure.
Absolutely.
Go to coltford.com. The show was so good last night. More music to come. Please come back when the book is out so we can talk about it.
I will. God bless all y'all truckers out there. Be safe getting across this country and keeping it running. Thank y'all.
We're glad you're here still.
Me too.
Not going anywhere. We'll be right back.